What happens to your body when you stop lifting weights and you only focus on your sport? Let's find out. Prehab, welcome back to the channel. Dr. Craig Lindell, and today we're discussing what can happen to your body when you neglect comprehensive resistance training and you only focus on your sport. It actually begins with some storytelling, specifically my life story thus far in this year. I signed up for a half Ironman back in October of 2022, and I started training in November. Then things got pretty hectic in the new year, which led to me actually ignoring my resistance training program for almost 3 months, something I've never done before in my life. Some really interesting things actually happened to my body, and the results were fascinating. So with my knowledge as a physical therapist, I wanted to create a video about my experience to educate others about what can happen to your body if you stop resistance training and you only focus on your sport. So this video is an opportunity for you to learn from my mistakes by incorporating prehab into your life. Let's dive into it. So 2023, new year, new me, right? That's what I thought. Training for an Ironman. My body's gonna be in the best shape of my life. Well, reality had other plans. Life was crazy, work was crazy. I also decided to move into a new house, which meant packing, moving, unpacking in less than a month. And then also trying to get settled in while juggling work and training. Training for me consisted of swimming, biking, and running, which is already a beast within itself, taking up to 10 hours a week. Also, I really wanted to dial in my nutrition, so grocery shopping, cooking, and counting calories took a solid chunk of time. And so, my grand plan to still lift 2 to 3 times a week slipped away from me. I began convincing myself the wrong things, like we all do. I'm lifting with all the packing and moving. I should play it safe and skip that workout. Damn, I'm pretty fatigued and should get some sleep. I'll just try the lift tomorrow. I suck at swimming, and I should probably skip today's upper body workout so that I'm not too sore in the pool tomorrow because I don't want to drown. I gotta get this work done and then I'll lift. One excuse after another. I weaseled my way out of working out, but this approach had its consequences. Let me explain. As an athlete, there are potential consequences when it comes to movement and strength if you only do your sport. What I mean by that is your body is perfectly set up to move and adapt only to your sport. For example, if you only jog on the same flat surface for the same amount of time and distance over and over, that's what your body is going to adapt to. The potential consequences of this are missing out on stimulating and adapting other musculoskeletal structures while potentially overloading the same musculoskeletal structures that often plague runners and other athletes with overuse injuries. As you can imagine, these same potential consequences can be applied to my training program the past few months. So now it's time to share some of the issues that came up. One thing I've taken for granted until now is ankle mobility. Never had an issue with it. But for some reason, since I began swimming and biking, my right ankle has become a serious problem. But if we think about it, it makes sense. With swimming, you want to maximize plantar flexion to help with kicking and eliminating drag that can slow you down. With my cycling setup, my ankles are in more plantar flexion to help drive more power into the crank. When you combine these linear motion focused exercises with a heavy dose of running, also linear, and a lackluster performance of mobility and strengthening exercises, it can be a recipe for foot and ankle, as well as calf and Achilles issues. So what's going on with my body? Well, at the moment, like I said, I'm dealing with a loss of ankle dorsiflexion mobility, dealing with some end range heel raise strength issues on the right compared to the left. Got some right shoulder sensitivity as well, and some left hip strength issues. Training for an Ironman is a lot. There are aches and pains associated with this journey. But with that being said, I know I could have done a better job prehabbing my body during the process. But hey, they say the best time to prevent something was in the past. The second best time is now. Well, it's time to get back to it. I want to share with you the supplemental prehab routine I've made time for, and along the way, I'm going to explain the principles behind the movement choices so that you have the knowledge to create your own prehab routine. And it starts with mobility. Do you have the functional ability to get to where you need to be? Let's find out. Here are 4 ideal mobility exercises for me. Prone shoulder blackburns. This is a must-do for any swimmer to ensure you maintain optimal range of motion in your shoulders and that you can control that motion. Downward dog, alternating leg, an excellent choice for cyclists that are spending a lot of time on the bike. This exercise is going to help with posterior chain flexibility and sciatic nerve mobility. Modified hamstring extender. This is such a good movement for runners because having optimal flexibility with your stride position is going to set you up for success with each step without overstretching or overstriding, having to compensate with your running stride. Modified creeper walk. I've been playing around with this movement as it's a play on the traditional creeper walk, but instead of the focus being up on your toes, it's actually keeping your heels down. Because I'm spending less time doing loaded ankle dorsiflexion drills, this is a really good one to work on closed kinetic chain, ankle dorsiflexion, as well as foot and ankle control to help with the issues that I'm dealing with. Remember, I'm lacking dorsiflexion. I want to practice doing that motion. Next up is strength. Are you strong enough to tolerate the demands of your sport? Split stance row, dumbbell, and seal row, dumbbell. Max strength during the season is a good attribute to maintain as best as you can. With swimming, I want to keep my pulling strength as strong as possible. That's because I'm primarily using my arms and not my legs with swimming. Bulgarian split squat with a dumbbell. Probably the best asymmetrical lower body strengthening exercise out there that has some position specificity to running and cycling. Calf strengthening. We have a few exercises here because my right ankle really needs it. Like I said, this is probably the most important group of exercises for me at the moment because I'm dealing with ankle mobility issues and because I'm dealing with strength issues. Strength and mobility are more often than not pretty linked together. Lastly is movement variability. Give your body a healthy dose of various movements to make up for what your sport lacks. Bear crawl. Because I'm not spending a lot of time doing upper body motions other than swimming, and especially not really doing any pushing, I really like this exercise as a full upper body and core endurance-based workout. Keeps my shoulders feeling healthy. Cossack squat. The frontal plane and the transverse plane are key to incorporate, especially with linear-based sports and activities like cycling and running. This is helping my ankle dorsiflexion a ton. Farmer carry. One of the best functional strengthening exercises out there. Loaded carries are an excellent way to stimulate not only muscle growth, but is good for bone and connective tissue growth in a good way. You want strong bones, muscles, tendons, and ligaments, especially when it comes to impact sports. All right, thanks for tuning in. I really hope this video was insightful. Let's recap to make sure you have everything that you need. So, number one, your body is perfectly designed to adapt to what you impose on it. If you only play the same sport or do the same movement over and over, you're missing out on positive adaptations in other parts of your body while potentially overloading the same parts of your body over and over, which is one of the most common reasons for sports injuries. Another important thing, a combination of the wrong things is typically what adds up to imbalances, pain, and injury. And skipping resistance training and movement variability is definitely a wrong move. You want a combination of the right attributes, a strong body, the right amount of skill and technique, the right equipment if applicable, and the right training program to decrease the risk of injury. This is where the Prehab app excels. And research has actually shown that including weightlifting can actually make you a better athlete. Lastly, respect your sports seasons. It's important to note, I did try to plan appropriately by doing a good preseason training program, getting as strong as physically possible. All I was doing at that time was lifting. And for the most part, right now, my body does feel pretty good. And I attribute that to doing the right prehab before I kicked off my Ironman training. Now, I'm basically in the middle of my sports season, so most of my time should be focused on skill, technique, and specificity, just like any other sport. So all I'm gonna do right now is swim, bike, and run. Remember, prehab for you may be different than prehab for me. If you're unsure where to start, or you don't even know what you may be at risk for, download the Prehab app and start with a body scan. From there, we'll recommend you the ideal program, and with each program having an assessment for you to do to evaluate your current status, you'll know if and how to make progress. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Until next time, Prehab, see ya.
Hey, did you like this video? If you did, you should definitely check out the Prehab app. It includes all of our programs, a brand new workout library, and tons more videos like the one you saw today. Check it out by clicking on this link. You get a free trial. Take control of your health today.